Hello everyone, that's today's second video of the 5D forecast. You can find the video chat here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a little bit and it's above the stow desk. And there's also a written version. You can get that from the buttons at the top of the page. Going to be signing off cold for the next 5D forecast period, but it's going to get milder over the weekend and inside of next week. And we'll pick up the storyline beyond the 5-day forecast period for today's second video update. Going to have a quick look at when it's week's 10 days. In today's second video update, so it's taking us well into next week. Still confusion about what's happening next week in terms of a chance of a return to cold northerly winds. I think we will get a couple of colder days through the middle of next week, but how long that lasts, I think we have got some uncertainty about that. So I'll talk you through what's happening right now, just to say that the Christmas shop is still open, so if you've got any Christmas shopping to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, all you have to do is click the green button that says Gav's Christmas Shop. It takes you to our Christmas Shop page, and then from there, the key to it all will be to go through the Amazon banners. And because you've gone from Gav's Office to Amazon, we get a revenue fee on the things that you're buying. Remember, please do this from Gav's Christmas Shop rather than any of the other advertisements around the website. It has to be from the Christmas Shop page, which you get to from the green button and is underneath this video. And you'll know you're on the right page because you'll see the snowflakes fluttering down the screen. And from there, you go from Gav's Office Christmas Shop to Amazon, and they know you've got to their website from ours, and so we will get a revenue fee on things that you buy. Big thank you to everybody for doing that. So we'll start off with a quick look at the ensemble. We're just looking at London today, no specific area. So we're starting off with the 30-year upper air temperature average, which is indicated by this red line just here. So cold average at the moment, and we're going to go even colder tomorrow. Going to be quite a bitter day actually tomorrow. After that, temperatures will very, very slowly at the end of the week and into weekend start to creep up. So by the time we get through to the end of the week and the weekend, and that's this period just here, it is beginning to go a little bit milder, or maybe we should say less cold. But I think by Monday it will actually be milder with temperatures, or probably mild with temperatures around 10 or 11 degrees. After that, a little bit of a drop in the temperature taking place just there. This is the middle part of next week. You see, there's quite a bit of scatter in with this. So even then, some members of the GFS ensembles are keeping things close to the 30-year temperature average. But I think most of the ensemble members go quite cold for a couple of days through the course of next week. But then beyond that, we really do have a lot of scatter. So look at all these different lines of spaghettis, coloured lines. So we've got some ensemble members that are going up to around 10 degrees at 850 HPA. That's very, very mild air indeed. Others are down at sort of minus 10 at 850 HPA, which is very cold. Something like a 20-degree temperature differential here between the mildest and the coldest GFS ensemble members. So obviously there's going to be a range of options at play here between these different outcomes that each individual GFS ensemble member are going for. So as I say, it really is very uncertain what's happening next week. I think we start off mild on Monday. We probably get a little bit of a colder spell Tuesday to Wednesday. Now, whether that's just a cold snap and it just lasts a day or two, or whether this extends out into something significant, I think that is where the uncertainty is creeping in. Potentially it could get very cold for a time next week, and maybe very wintry as well. But that is a low probability outcome, and I think the most likely probability outcome is that we just have a brief period of cold weather again around the middle of next week before it starts to turn milder in the second half of next week. But with so many different outcomes at work here, these individual ensemble members, I don't really think we can call this either way. For around Tuesday onwards, I think it's still uncertain, too uncertain to say what's going to happen. What we can say with good confidence is that the temperature anomaly from the 29th of November to the 7th of December is coming out colder than average. So this is it. Many parts of Central and Western Europe are coming out colder than average. Certainly Western Europe anyway. from the 29th of November to 7th of December. Over in the east, that's where the warmer than average temperature anomalies are at the moment. This is a complete flip around what we had last winter, of course, when it was generally in the west of Europe, but was very mild, and the cold temperatures tended to be in the east and southeast of Europe. Now, whether this is just a temporary situation and will revert back to that more typical setup of mild in the west, colder in the east, or whether this is going to be the way things play out through much of this winter, that's still very much up in the air, pardon the pun. And we'll know a little bit more about that potentially when we do the winter 2017-18 forecast on Sunday. Precipitation anomalies for the next week, going from the 29th of November, 7th of December, are coming out drier than average for much of Western Europe. It is more unsettled over in the east. So where it's milder, it's also wetter. This is a midnight run of the GFS then. I'm going to bring you up to date with the 2 GFS runs that we've had so far today. This is the midnight run, high pressure out to the west, bringing down northwesterly winds, which are quite mild on Sunday. Into Monday, that continues. So up to Monday, everything is straightforward. This is Tuesday's chart, when we're starting to try and turn the winds back into the north again, across the far north of the country. Notice heights are beginning to rise here over Greenland. So by the time we get through to Wednesday, we're beginning to turn the winds into the north again. Cold northerly winds are beginning to push down. So by the time we get through to Thursday next week, we are back into those cold northerly winds. We've got high pressure out to our northwest again and trying to go up towards Greenland. Low pressure is deep trough there, and the wind is pushing straight down from the Arctic. So the midnight run of the GFS brought another Arctic blast through during the middle part of next week. And then those cold northerly winds stayed with us through today 10, which is Saturday the 9th of December, staying generally cold with the wind continuing to come from the north. Maybe just by day 10 signs that that ridge is starting to slip, and if we could roll on a few more days, which I'm not going to, but if we did, possibly a milder attack would occur from the Atlantic. That's a midnight run. This is the latest 6 o'clock run. In around half an hour from when I'm doing the video, it's coming up to 2 to 3 in the afternoon. So at 3:30 this afternoon, the midday run of the GFS will be updated. This model updates 4 times a day, but at the moment, this is the latest. And again, it has high pressure just to our west on Sunday, with milder winds coming around the top. That continues into the start of next week. Tuesday, we begin to try and turn the wind into the north, and on Wednesday, yes, GFS again pulls down these cold northerly winds, and they continue into Thursday as well. We go up to day 10, and the high pressure is still out to our west, so it still stays cold into the second half of next week. This is Friday the 8th of December. But by Saturday the 9th, we're starting to roll milder air in around the top of a ridge. The ridge is beginning to slip down to the south. So the GFS seems to be, at least operationals anyway, they seem to be going for another northerly shot next week. Not a prolonged, locked-in, snowy cold spell, but another shot of northerly winds similar to what we've got this week, with the caveat that with each one of these northerly winds, they'll start getting colder. So probably a little bit colder next week with that northerly Tuesday to Thursday compared to the northerly that we've got right now. That's all the GFS. This is the ECMWF, and this is for Sunday again. The milder conditions rolling in around the top of that ridge. That continues into Monday as well. Tuesday to Wednesday. Notice we're not getting this ridge as far north as we do with the GFS. So yes, the winds do turn into a north-northwesterly direction on Wednesday, but much of that is actually slipping just to our north and to our east as well. And the reason is that the ridge is still being centred around here out to the west of the Bay of Biscay, rather than centering the ridge up here. So if we centre the ridge up there, then we're going to pull down proper Arctic air. The Arctic air with that scenario is actually slipping away to our east. Nevertheless, it does turn a little bit colder on Wednesday, but by Thursday we're reaching a high pressure back in from the southwest, so very, very quickly that northerly is cut off. It's just a 24-hour sort of thing. And then, quite bizarrely, the ECMWF sort of develops this very deep storm system that we've got just here in the Atlantic at day 10. So that looks a little bit dubious. I don't think there's even many members of the GFS ensembles that are coming up with that, but it does have a deep area of low pressure at day 10, although quite a bit of blocking, you'll notice, up here. So if we could move this on another day or so, which we can't, but if we could, we would probably find that low pressure moving in that sort of direction, and then the winds will perhaps start to go into the north, courtesy of this blocking area of high pressure around Greenland. But I'm a bit dubious about that very deep area of low pressure, 975 millibars to the west of Ireland at day 10. The GFS isn't really seeing that, and well, we'll see how it develops. I mean, we haven't got things penciled in quite for the middle of next week yet, so beyond that, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. So, the uncertainty continues really for next week, although I think we are firming up on the chance of a colder interlude again after a mild start to next week, around Sunday, Monday. Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday probably brings the winds in from the north. Whether that lasts for 3 days or 1 day, I think some sort of northerly episode through the middle of next week, and then after that, we would either be looking to develop this into a sort of prolonged cold outbreak, or begin to turn it milder again. I suspect we favour it turning milder again, but there is a chance that we might turn this into something quite significant through the course of next week. We'll know more again tomorrow, so come back for tomorrow's latest instalment. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.